Okay, so this is Lou Martin. My YouTube is called Awakened Spirits Network. I'm on with Gerard Banks, who has nothing if it not ambition and a global vision, and he's put them together for a very exciting project. Da, 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 da. Yeah, Gerard, help me out. What is the title of your project there?
Right. I guess it's best to go back to the start and how all this came to be, and I
Please,
think it's
sure.
kind of good to have a chat from that perspective.
Absolutely.
Um, I guess the first time I started this was about 11 years ago in Cork,
Okay.
at the lock. So I had a vision there about 11 years ago, and there's many reasons in why I went about doing it. So the idea was, obviously a group intention, collective conscious event, right?
Right.
So it was to get everybody to circle the entire lock in Cork, holding
Beautiful.
hands.
Beautiful.
And the lock, it's significant with water, history, all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
But it was about connecting the spirits of people in Ireland,
Yes.
correcting the spirit of Irish people. And that's where it goes back to, right?
Right.
And people think like what I'm talking about is a new concept, but it's very far from new. It's in fact ancient. It's in fact what people in Ireland done for thousands of years, you know?
Yeah.
It's what people done at the Hill of Tara and all of this. So it's not a new concept. It's people in ancient societies in Ireland believe that this is how you actually unite the spirit of people,
Yes.
you know, and
Yes.
that's what's important. So it doesn't really matter, like, let's say your political view, this, that, or the other. We need to unite as a people, and it's only when you
Yes.
unite as a people that you can actually solve problems, right?
Yes.
You have to find a meeting point in which you can discuss and overcome problems and stuff, you know. It's
Yes.
like I come from a personal training background, so I'm used to kind of
Okay.
getting teams and people working together and kind of overcoming hurdles, working as a unit, and the power you can achieve when you work as a unit. So
Yes.
I've always been looking at people and society and that as a unit more as an individual, you know?
Okay. Okay.
Um, so if you think about it, let's say in sport, I would come from a bit of a, I suppose, professional rugby league background.
Okay. Okay.
When you think of rugby league, let's say people huddle, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that human connection
Yeah.
and that huddle, like we're all one,
Right.
you know. So
Right.
when you get the team together, it's like when you're in that huddle and unit, it's about like it doesn't matter what your viewpoint is, we're on the one team. We're
Yes.
all here as a united people, right?
Yes.
And that's what we need in Ireland. Like people talk about, let's say, a united Ireland, all this, that, the other. But
Yeah.
in truth, we need a united people.
Yes. Yes.
That's what's more important than ever. And it turns out in Ireland, there's a whole science in how you unite the spirit of people. And
Okay.
there's a beautiful, I suppose, teaching to that too as well, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Obviously
So-
you can talk about, let's say, frequency, heart consciousness, all of the above, right?
Right. Right.
So when you get everybody united at a united intention and
Yeah.
consciousness,
Yeah.
that's the most powerful thing we can do as humans.
Right, Chair. So it's you calling it hands around cork, is that right?
Hands Around Cork is what we're going to do on the 7th, right?
Yes.
But what
Yes.
I done at the lock was messages in water.
Okay. Okay.
And I'll explain the difference a small bit, right? They're
Sure,
both
please. Yeah.
more or less the same thing.
Okay.
But let's say, in the city on the 7th, you're going to have a large number of people.
Right.
Obviously, it's a protest, you political things, this, that, the other. So you're better off keeping it united, hands around Cork. That's what we want. We want hands around Cork,
Yeah.
everybody to hold hands and
Yeah.
unite the whole city, right?
Beautiful.
Create that beautiful loop, right?
Right.
Um, if I'm When I speak about it, it's funny. It brings back so much emotion
Right.
and feeling and stuff. And I guess people won't understand that unless you're part of it. So if we get everybody to hold hands and
Yeah.
surround the whole city as a united people,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
fair enough to the world, that looks absolutely beautiful. What a symbol, all of the above.
Yeah.
But more importantly, it's what it does to us.
Right.
What that what that what that symbol is to, let's say, the youth of Ireland, the kids,
Yes.
all of the above, right? So
Yes.
you want that we're living in a time where
Yeah.
the problem is people don't feel safe anymore, and
Mm.
they're venting that down different political avenues, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
if you don't feel safe, you have to unite the people, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You want the kids to feel safe too as well.
Yeah.
So uh, when people are holding hands and surrounding the entire city, right?
Yeah.
Everybody will feel something.
Yes.
There's no escaping it.
Yes.
I've done this a few times at the lock, so I come from
Okay.
an experienced background, right?
Right.
And
Wonderful.
anybody who held hands and you're surrounding the lock,
Yeah.
let's say about 60% of people start crying.
Really.
They're not used to
Really.
what it's like to actually be human,
Yes,
right?
that's very powerful. Yeah. Yeah.
And so when I speak about it, I guess because I've experienced it a few times, I
Right.
believe this is what we're meant to do. I
Yeah.
believe this is what we're meant to do as humans, right?
I hear you. I hear you.
Um,
Can I jump in for 1 second, Jared? 1 second.
Please do.
Yeah. No, this is brilliant, my friend. I mean, first of all, I'm really happy that you have the inspiration to do this. I'm really happy to be there and support that in any way I can, including having your time here today. You've got a beautiful, detailed post about this and a beautiful graphic, hands around Cork, and you've got five, points that you're inviting people to think about. I just want to put this up front so people have this in their mind when they're
Yeah,
listening to this. On June 7th at 3:45 p.m., starting at the National Monument on the Grand Parade, we aim to have over 4,000 people holding hands to create a human chain through Cork City. This kind of large-scale positive and united human action is powerful for several reasons. And then you go into what the things that you're touching on here: collective energy and intention, physical representation of unity, the emotional impact you just touched on, symbolism of uniting Cork City in a human chain, and viral and visual power. So let me ask you, while we keep all that in mind now, how you made your journey from playing rugby to organizing something like this. Can you give us a little 5 minutes on that?
yeah, of course.
All right, because that will give everyone more of an understanding of why
Yeah,
this is
totally,
so
totally,
important
totally,
to you.
totally, totally.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Let me
Perfect.
explain this
Yeah.
in totally.
Okay.
I got qualified as a personal trainer in Australia,
Right.
and I got into training people, training clubs, training groups, and I got used to let's say the
Yes.
collective energy of people, and
Mm.
how to, let's say, the energy of getting people to feel good, better, all of the above,
Right.
and how getting people to function as a unit. And one day I was in a pub in New Zealand and sitting down chatting. There was an Irish rugby match on, and a big Maori guy came up to me
Right.
and he basically said, "Hey, bro, you from Ireland?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You better know your history." I said, "I do." I said, "You better know your history." And he started laughing, and
Okay.
instantly he said, "Come with me, bro.
Mm.
Let's have a chat."
Right.
And fascinating the way he really sunk it into my. He was a chief, a Maori chief,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
he really put it into my. Like we spoke about druids, this, that, the other, and
Yeah.
he spoke about the Maori wisdom
Hmm.
and how it's actually very similar, right?
Yes. Yes.
And we spoke about, let's say, the spirit of the Maori people, the Irish people,
Hmm.
and we're both a colonized people too as well,
Yes.
right? So we're
Yes.
both a very colonized people, and he was saying to me, we talked about a lot, and I basically got to a point where he was saying like, you are very lucky to know what you know about Ireland, about the ancient spirit of your people.
Yeah.
He said, truth be told, you are one of the blessed people.
Right.
He said, we are waiting for ye to rise.
Wow.
We as the Maori people are waiting for ye. We need ye to rise first.
Wow.
He said, that's the way it is.
Wow.
He said, we're waiting for ye to rise, and you have, let's say, our people are fully behind you to do stuff, you know?
Right.
He said,
Right.
we're waiting on you.
Wow.
And it wasn't even me personally he was speaking to. It was like as if he was speaking through me to the people of Ireland.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
so that when I thought about that for a long time afterwards, you know.
I would think
And
so. Yeah.
yeah, it got me to think about it. And when I came back, it was at the start of, let's say, the water protest, right?
Yes.
And there was a lot of suicides in the area, all of this, and I was like,
Really.
what's missing is a united collective
Yeah.
consciousness of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know that sounds hippy dippy to speak about, but I understood it from a very old, different way, you know.
Yes.
Um, so I set up an event at the lock called Messages in Water.
Right.
This event had many different, let's say, aims to do, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, you want to unite people, right? Because there was a lot of disconnection in the area. So the answer is to get a supportive community behind them, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, so that's what I aim to do.
Yeah. Can I just,
Create a
sorry, 1 second, Jerry. You're doing great. So, and I'm so glad we can do this. So
yeah.
the water issue was that the state was going to privatize the water of Ireland, and the
Yeah.
people were in opposition to that. Just so people know what we're talking about.
Yeah, it was about the privatization of water, but
Yeah,
from an Irish people's perspective, again, it was the same
yeah,
problem that Irish people face all the time.
right.
It's the disconnection between the spirit of the people, right? So
Yeah,
you want to create a harmonious community. That's what you need, right?
yes, yes.
So I set up a group called the Cork Integrative Health Community. That's the
Wow,
intelligent integration of Eastern and Western medicine, but also the integration of the community itself. So the
beautiful.
community being like an element on it, of it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And at the time, I see myself as nearly like a spokesperson for the community. So I was involved in lots of different projects around the city,
Okay,
looking for water fountains for the homeless, all different sort of stuff. And I
okay.
really focused on the part that like water is everything. Water is what connects us as people. It's what like every plant, every life form, it all
Yeah,
goes back to water and the importance of water.
yeah.
So that's again,
Water is life, as they
water
say.
is life,
Yeah.
and that's why at the lock, it was like this is the perfect place to do this. And when I talk to people about the idea that I would like to do at the lock,
Hmm.
people were like, I was expecting people to say, "Oh, you're nuts, you're mad, you're a hippie," but everyone went, "No, Ger, that's actually really cool.
Yeah,
That's really
yeah.
cool."
Amazing.
Uh, and then they'd ask me like, "Where did you get this idea?" And I was explaining to them, I came across this in an understanding of this in Cork, the archives in the library in Cork City Hall. I used to go up
Really
studying all this mad local history stuff,
wonderful.
and I came across the history of they got a lot of people to surround the lock a long time ago, right?
Right?
And I was like, that's amazing. I said, even reading it, I was like, wow, if all the people came together to surround the lock,
Yeah,
what a really cool community these people had. And
yeah.
these people didn't have modern internet, anything. They had folklore. They had folklore, mythology, and all that to go on.
Hmm.
And it got me thinking a lot because I was always living at the lock. And I was like, I want to get everyone to surround the lock holding hands. I
Beautiful.
want to do it in the most beautiful way possible. And
Right.
again, this is a very peaceful way of doing things, right?
Yes, yes. Thank God.
Also, it was a time, let's say, with the water protest, and
Yeah,
I was like, right, I'm going to get everybody to hold hands and surround the entire lock.
yeah.
And the very idea is everybody turns up to show you just how many people are there to support you if you
Yeah.
ever enter into a dark place in life,
I love that. I love that.
right?
That's really a great vision. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, still today, people come to me today, and this is from 11. I've done it a few times.
Yeah,
People still come to me today saying how much that meant to them,
I'm sure.
and this is 11 years ago,
Yeah.
and I believe it's something we need to go back to doing all the time anyway, right?
Yes, yes.
And again, it's good. Like let's say over the weekend we'll have another long form chat and go into
Yeah,
it in depth because
yeah.
I think this is something that it needs even for people watching, you know.
Sure,
Um,
sure.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I got everyone to hold hands surrounding the lock. We didn't get the whole way around the first time, right? The second time we done it, then the same thing. We didn't. It didn't work properly the way I wanted, even though the public absolutely loved it, right?
right, right,
The
right.
public loved it. There was people turning up with healing tables to give energy healing at the time. You
Wonderful.
had dancing groups, you had a fire show. It was like a celebration of joy and happiness, you know?
Yes, beautiful.
And as well as that, I was like, it didn't work properly. What is going wrong? And I started realizing that maybe the problem is me
Okay.
because I was feeling responsible for everybody, getting everybody there, the safety of it all of the above, right?
Oh, sure, sure.
And then I organized it another time and I had a whole new vision learning from experience, you
There
know?
you go. Yeah.
So this time we done it the most beautiful way possible, right? We
Hmm.
got a lot of kids, we got when kids turned up, they were all given chalk and they were told, what's your message to anyone who's in a dark place in life?
Oh,
And the kids
beautiful.
wrote their messages the whole way around the lock. And
Brilliant.
if you were to even walk around the lock, you realize just how awake the kids are, you
Yes,
know?
yes.
And they're watching everything. The messages that they gave was absolutely spectacular, right?
Hmm.
When it got to the point then of surrounding the lock, right, it was funny. Everybody came to me and they were like, sure, what'll we do now? And I was kind of, I got to a point where I was like, this has got nothing to do with me anymore. I'm going to leave this problem to the spirit of the people. And that would sound crazy to suggest that first, but listen to what happened afterwards. The
Please.
moment I said to people next to me, look, I don't know, you're going to have to figure it out yourself. It's not that difficult, right? Look, it's a simple solution.
Yeah.
And instantly then, what happened was the people next to me went, right, Mary, stand up down there. We're going doing a push-up. Then you had kids. What happened is my community, everyone just turned into natural leaders,
Beautiful.
right?
Yeah.
And so everyone was on a complete mission to get the whole thing done. At this point, I was having a beautiful point. I was standing there just witnessing it, just
Yeah.
watching the beauty
Yeah.
of my whole community become a collective network,
That's
right?
brilliant.
And
Yeah.
they all became individual leaders, you know, and it was all kids. And then when we gathered around, what a moment. A rainbow occurred when we were doing
Oh,
this.
really?
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Fantastic.
Again, probably 60% of people started crying,
Right.
right? The
Right.
cheer that happened when it was done was absolutely amazing. People
Oh,
didn't want to leave, right?
right. Right.
Um, and there has always been a great spirit in the area since. Even this is going to sound, it's not, it's normal to talk about. What am I talking about, right?
Well, I'm well used to this stuff, but
Yeah, yeah,
I
same.
understand
And
people need an explanation sometimes. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm just conscious if somebody's listening, I'd be trying to explain it in a simple way, but I don't have to anymore. I shouldn't be doing that, right?
Well,
Basically, at the start of the water protest, we had a bit of a disconnect between people.
yeah.
And then once I started doing the messages in water at the lock, and at this time, I had only a concept and a theory of doing something like this to unite the spirit of the people, right?
Right.
But once I'd done this at the lock, an interesting thing happened.
Yeah.
Ballyvihan became a no-go zone for Irish water.
Right.
Everyone will remember the spirit of the people of Ballyvihan at the time.
Mm.
They were so united. We had the elderly people of Ballyvihan walking around keeping everyone safe at night time, you know?
Wow.
It
Wow.
was it was amazing. It like nobody felt lonely anymore. It
Right.
was a real united community, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was absolutely beautiful. And at that was the first time I got thinking like, wow, this actually works.
Yes.
This is actually how you unite people, right?
Yes. Yes.
And again, technically what's happening on the 7th is not really my event. It's like the people, right? We got talking to a few people and they were like, yeah, this is what needs to happen. I was
Yeah.
like, all right, because like you want something to be very peaceful when you have a lot of people coming together in Cork. Obviously, let's say people feel unsafe. So then you don't need anger, you don't need anything. You want to do it in the most beautiful way possible. And this is it, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
No matter who you are, you want to unite the people of Ireland anyway, unite the spirit of the people, and that's how you do
Yes.
it. So
Yes.
it doesn't matter your spiritual background, this is how you do it.
Yeah, man.
Um,
Yeah.
you can like this is how you do it.
Yeah.
And to
Yeah.
me, I believe it's the most powerful thing you can do.
I
So it's
quite
great to
agree.
even talk about this with people and get other people talking about it.
Sure.
Like even so like in the city of Cork, when people are saying what roads do you go down, this, that, the other I'm not bothered about that.
Yeah.
On the day when people are figuring out themselves,
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll work that out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a hard thing to do, you know.
Yeah.
But if you got the people of Cork to surround the city holding hands like that,
Yeah.
then technically you come from one of the most beautiful cities on the planet.
Well, amen to that, brother. I mean,
Um,
this is part of why I'm in Ireland, my friend.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, from California, I'm from LA, basically, and other, traveled around a lot through the states and through other parts of the world. And I have the Irish ancestry, so I'm on a vision quest here, learning all of this and rediscovering all this. And
cool.
the Irish sense of community, as you're saying here, is world class.
Yeah,
It's profound. It's deep in the soul of the country and the people of Ireland, and it is what the world needs. Not to be dividing and conquering
yeah,
each other, us versus them, but a sense of unity and camaraderie and our common humanity. So it's a very sacred thing, you know.
yeah,
And I love your story about the Maori, and it's amazing how people get initiated, by other tribal elders and things like that. I had connection with the Lakota people in South Dakota. The chief there Lawrence Standing Elk, and that was a life-changing experience. And Arva Looking Horse, who's the pipe carrier for the Lakota Nation, I met him at Devil's Tower, and in Solstice. So yeah, these things do happen, and this definitely calls to my soul, and I'm sure to many people here learning about it. So thank you.
Yeah, and also like even doing this on large scale in the city, it promotes this concept. Like let's talk for a moment about, let's say, a protest, right? So you've a large number of people coming into a city, right? And in a way, they're all coming in as individuals, and I get that, but like to properly utilize the energy of it, if you've done this in Cork and surrounding the city, I believe going forward you will change how protests work, you know?
Yes,
And
yes,
you like, let's say we do this in Cork, you will find people doing it around the country as well. And then
yes,
technically you are on the path to uniting the people of Ireland, right?
yeah,
Not only that, wait till you see how the world responds when
yeah,
people start doing this. Like how will the world respond when they see Irish people doing this, you know? And we talk about media, whatever. How do media respond? You know? Like how do media respond when they see Irish people doing the most beautiful thing possible, right?
yeah.
There technically nobody can be against that. No matter who you are, you cannot be against that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
no matter who you are, if you've seen people in a different country doing this, it will affect you internally watching them.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean?
That's
So,
right.
so think about that for a moment. If we're doing this, think of what effect that's going to have on the younger generation of Ireland.
Yeah,
Like, to me, that's the most important part,
I
you
hear
know?
you. Yeah,
And like, again, I go back to the fact that we talk about, let's say, why Irish people are loved, the culture of Ireland, because we've been doing this for thousands of years.
yeah,
What I'm talking about is not a new concept. What I'm
yeah.
talking about is actually part of culture and tradition in Ireland. It's
Hmm.
actually recognized by the Breton Laws, the oldest legal system in Europe.
Right.
So this is not new. It's not my idea. It's
Yeah.
not nothing like that. But if you the moment you speak about this to, let's say, elders around the world, they get it
Sure.
straight away,
Sure.
right? Let's say you can talk about, let's say, water consciousness and the power of the mind united with the heart around water, and how it can change the particle structure of water. And we know, like, you can change the particle structure of water, but also the water inside in you and inside in plant life. That's the most beautiful blessing you can give the people around you.
Absolutely.
Also, the old societies in Ireland believe this is how we heal our collective hurt,
Absolutely.
you know. And if
Yes.
if if this has the power to heal our collective hurt,
Yeah.
even if let's say we're just speaking about stuff theoretically and all that,
Yeah.
it's worth doing anyway.
Yeah.
It's worth doing anyway. Intention, spirit creates everything, right?
Yeah.
That's very important. And
Oh, yeah.
let's say we talk about, let's say, Irishness and stuff like that, right? The
Yeah.
word Irish, let's talk for a moment. The word Irish comes from the word iris, 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 and the H. The H means from. Iris means consciousness.
Okay.
So like
Works for me.
this is what it is. So
Yeah.
it's about kind of returning people to this in the most lovely way possible. There is no enemy.
Right. Right.
There's no enemy. There's only the next generation and how the world we want them to grow up inside of. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's what's most important. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Beautiful. Um,
yeah. That's what's most important.
well, Jared, I mean, this is really really a joy. I can't even tell you, man. I mean, the Africans talk about Ubuntu, and coming
Yeah,
together in that same tribal sense of community and the greater good. Of
yeah,
course, this also reminds me, as an American, of nonviolent civil disobedience. During the civil rights movements and
yeah,
other movements as well, and of
yeah,
course Gandhi in India, and all of that. And also that in the Breton Law, isn't it that the king takes an oath to the land
yeah,
as well
yeah.
as the people?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and also in Breton law, the king isn't. It's not heretic. Like you're not the king because your dad was the king.
right.
You're there. It's a different way. You're
Yes,
you're there on moral status. You know.
yes, yes.
So like
Character.
the way Breton law worked was kind of everyone had their, let's say, marketplace value in a way. Just
Mhm.
like if you're selling something on YouTube, you have the history of how you done and your rating. So we had our own marketplace where everybody had their own rating in a way, and you had to function in a certain way in order to get your rating up, let's say.
Sure.
And those who had the highest ratings were then given, let's say, the respect of the community, so
Yeah,
they could function in accordance with.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's why as well, when you look at, let's say, we talk about a lot of people when they talk about Breton Law, they talk about, let's say, how women were treated equally and all that kind of stuff. Of
Yes.
course, it didn't matter anything. Like it mattered your how you functioned in your world, how you functioned with people and all this kind of stuff.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Your sacred worth.
yeah, and let's say we talk about um, you could talk about spirit or something like that.
Sure.
They, to them, it didn't matter really what anybody's religious belief was.
That's right.
Once you left the land and the world in a better place than when you got here,
Yeah.
then that's okay. It didn't matter. You have the ability to be whoever you want, really.
Yeah.
Once you respect what they always said, the sovereignty of everybody else,
Yeah. Yeah.
and this is what is most important. And
Yes.
again, this is why, like, we're only getting started here, and this is why I think we should have a good few chats and
Sure, man.
to
Pleasure.
properly get into the depths of it. And
Yeah.
like, I feel like people ask me kind of like, what am I? What background do I come from? I I've always just loved the spirit of Ireland,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
And I guess many people might not understand that, but I do. Like
I do.
for example's sake, we talk about, let's say you could talk about energy flow, all of this. We talk about, let's say, Taoism, and they might talk about the Tao, and
Yeah.
the Tao will be the underlying law of the the universe,
Yeah.
and how we should try live in harmony with this. So
Yes.
in Ireland, that was called Shli Vaha. Shli
Okay.
means way, Vaha means of life, the way
Beautiful.
of life,
Okay.
and very similar. And um,
I hadn't
this is
heard
what
that.
we need to go back to.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, do you know,
You
I'm
know.
actually just starting to learn Irish.
Oh,
Uh,
cool.
yeah, because after 18 years here, Gerard, I'm like, I need to get serious about this. I need to take the next step. Yeah.
Yeah, and to be honest, I'm a bit ashamed. Well, I'm not going to say ashamed of myself. That's the wrong way of putting it. I need to speak Irish more. My sister is a Gael Gore. Her
Oh,
kids speak Irish.
oh,
I meet up with her family. They all speak Irish in their house.
right,
So I'd
right,
meet up with my niece or nephew, and
right,
they're 4, 5, and they're
right.
fluent. But
Very
they'll
good.
talk to me, and they will make me feel bad that I don't know Irish. To them, in their minds, they think everyone should be speaking Irish, which
Of
is
course.
great. My dad really got back into learning Irish
Okay,
roughly about the same age as yourself.
okay,
What he used to do is, in Ireland, all the Irish-speaking schools, right?
right.
If you've a Gael school near you, I think there might be one in Bandon. They do a couple of classes every week, where they will
Yes,
teach the parents for free
yes.
Irish. So you can
I'm
get
at the
free Irish lessons.
library. I'm at the library, Joe. They have a conversation group, and so
Yeah.
that's getting me going. Yeah.
So each Irish school has a class where you can go and learn. And my dad used to just do the rounds and go to every one of the schools.
Wow.
And then he went to UCC to study Irish.
Really?
And he was only going for the love of speaking it. So
Right.
he just stayed in first year all the time for a few years because he didn't want to be qualified. He just
Beautiful.
wanted new people to speak to all the time.
Wonderful.
And the college themselves loved him because now you had someone in the middle of it who just wanted to speak Irish to everybody.
That's
He
great.
wanted to sit and go for tea and all of that. So it
Yeah.
worked. So
Yeah.
the
I
well,
like your dad. I like.
yeah, no, he was a great man. He
Yeah.
was a great man.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Um, yeah. So he used to walk around with a book of Irish words all the time.
Right.
And it yeah, it's the way to go. Personally, as much I love it, but I would always love the Breton. Um, the Breton, like the wisdom of the words themselves.
Okay.
And then you'd get into the poetry and beauty of many of the Irish words because they would be an intellectual part of it, an emotional part of it, all of the above. Like for example's sake, you don't say uh, emotions, you wear your emotions just like you wear your clothes.
Right.
So
Right.
you would say like, I am wearing anger, I
Right.
am wearing love, because they're only of you at a certain time, meaning that they're all going to pass and go.
Yes.
So it was a very intelligent way of teaching it and understanding it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's
Then
beautiful. Yeah.
there's also the ancient Irish alphabet, which I would be very into, but it's kind of how do I put it? It's not for the modern world. Very
Really?
much not. It's kind
Okay.
of, again, it's getting more into the deciphering what words mean and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the Ohm alphabet, right? So in the Ohm alphabet, an
Yeah. Yeah.
Om,
Yeah.
back to the Shli Vahe again. But in the
Okay.
Ohm alphabet, you'd have, let's say, the Ohm stone, and you'd have the language line. You have this, and you have this.
Right.
Etch that and turn it to its side. It's the origins of the language of music, sound, vibrational frequency. Om.
Right.
When you speak, when I talk about that, it it kind of makes sense when you think about it, right?
That's brilliant.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So you be getting into the realm of, I suppose, druids, this, that, the other. But a druid was, you didn't go somewhere to become a druid. That's what people called you,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's like, let's say, Buddha, whatever. That's what people called you. It was like
Yeah.
a title of respect. There's
Right.
a there's a druid in him,
Right.
you know. So
Right.
it's not that you're walking around, I'm the druid.
Right.
There's
Right.
nothing like that. And
Yeah. Yeah.
but again, that's just part of mythology, folklore, which is another element of the Irish alphabet that's beautiful too, right?
Sure, but
Like you'd have the letters of the Irish alphabet, all deriving from trees, all that kind of stuff, which is
right.
cool, right?
Oh yeah, amazing.
Did
Yeah.
you not know that?
No, I did know the alphabet of the trees. Yeah, I have heard that. Yeah, but I hadn't heard
Yeah,
that about music and sound and ohm.
yeah,
So that's you're telling me something there. The poet Siobhan Kapoor. Uh,
yeah. She's great.
yes, I met her and saw her do a reading, and
Lucky you.
yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, I think so too. And her partner is also quite impressive. I've forgotten his name, but
The whole family are. The
yes,
whole
there you
family
go.
are. The
There you
whole
go.
family
You
are. Let's
know,
just be. Let's just keep it real.
yes,
The whole family are, and
absolutely.
even what they're doing for, let's say, Irish culture, traditional heritage, is amazing. And
Yes,
what I love about them is they don't just speak it. That's their life. Like,
absolutely.
even when you're in their company, you feel more Irish, right?
Sure, sure.
You just feel more Irish. They have this way about them that's kind of, you just love being in their company. So
Yes,
lucky
yes.
you for being in their presence. They're a they're a lovely family, right? The whole lot of
Yes,
them.
yes, yes. Well, do you know Charlotte Emily Rose? She's the one that
Yeah,
comes to me. Okay. She's out there working with the Wells,
she's
with
doing,
Caroline.
yeah, doing great stuff. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Mm.
But what I want to say also, in the time we have left here, JR, for our first chat of many, I
Yeah.
hope, is so have the film Awakening, The Awakening Soul of Ireland, 3 hour
Yeah.
documentary.
Yeah.
Have you seen a bit of that? Are you familiar with that?
I've seen it, and I'd be
Okay.
familiar with many people who were part of the
Yes.
documentary. I would know many
Yes.
people that were in it. Yeah, and they
Sure.
they would they would all be on a very similar wavelength to myself, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I would know many of them a very long time.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
as Bogart says at the end of Casablanca, Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Uh,
Yeah.
and I certainly feel that with you, my friend. You have a lot to teach me, and a passion to share it with the world. The channeling work and the work that I've done with spirit, the one phrase that's come up many times talking about the future is enlightened group consciousness.
And the
And
future looks bright.
yes,
The
it's so
future
bright
looks
you have
very
to wear
bright,
shades.
and it,
Yes,
it, it is, and that's why I don't buy into all the kind of the boo-hoo, this, that, the other.
sure.
I don't believe, and I don't even listen to these people anymore. I've given up. Like, it's
Yes, me
it's
too,
not like
brother.
that.
Yeah, me
Like when
too.
you go outside your front door, people are people are lovely, right?
Yes, yes,
There is this belief that, let's say, our collective consciousness has an effect on the weather,
right.
right? There is that's a
Sure,
theory or
sure,
belief, whatever.
sure.
And even Thomas Sheridan talks about this, the
Yes, I
the
know him.
the psyche of the weather,
Yeah.
and the weather has been stable for a very long time in Ireland.
The
It's
last few
been,
weeks have been
yeah,
extraordinary. You
it's
know,
we have, it hasn't been this stable in a long time,
I believe that. Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
that's a reflection of many things, right?
Sure,
And
sure.
so, yeah, so I believe the future is very bright.
Yes, yes.
And again, that's why partly, even, let's say, hands around Cork, and even just to drop the idea of, let's say, messages in water on the autumn equinox would be a cool thing to do this year, if
Yeah.
maybe other people were interested in it, and
Sure,
doing it really cool, right?
sure,
Um,
sure.
but getting people to unite in this way, I believe, is kind of, is the way forward. And
Yes.
it's not even the way forward. It's kind of like the way backward.
Well, It's the way of honoring the values that we all hold dear in our soul and our heart. Yeah.
Yeah, totally,
Yeah. Yeah.
totally, totally,
Yeah.
totally,
Well,
totally.
let me ask you this, Jer. I mean, you're obviously you're a man with a few ideas on your mind, yeah, and a passion to share them, which I so appreciate. What can people do in the short term who see this between now and the 7th of June to support this event?
What can people do?
Yeah.
Um,
What
Firstly, I'd like people to think about it, to just visualize what it's like to get everybody to surround the entire city, right?
Mhm.
When people say to me, "Is you'll never do that, this, that, the other," doubt is the step one in trust, right? Doubt is a very important thing.
Yes.
Like you don't trust anything until you first doubt it.
Right.
So please doubt the people. Please, I welcome you to do that,
Feel
because what
free.
happens when you see people actually achieving it,
Yeah.
that's the beauty, right?
Yes.
So like, in order from like, this is not something that any individual can do, because it's a large collective of
Sure.
people and stuff.
Sure. Sure.
But that's the beauty of it, when you see people in mass numbers holding hands and uniting
Right.
in united intention, consciousness, the whole lot.
Yes.
It doesn't matter who you are. That's the most powerful thing we can do as humans, right?
Yeah.
When you talk about, let's say, group meditation and in this format, they've done studies on this in India, and I think they had 5 million people doing it at one point. They
Right.
broke the Guinness Book of Records. I was looking to see
Right.
would there be a chance of breaking a record in Cork for it, but
Right.
they done it with 5 million people, and
Pretty good.
they have studies on it that even, let's say, crime and war
I am.
everywhere just
I am.
went down,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
and even from listening to that there's a potential that could happen, then it's worth doing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
worth doing. Like, it's worth giving it a go at least anyway, right?
Yes. Yes. Well, Jared.
So
Yeah.
go on.
Yeah.
I have to keep an eye on your time as well, because you need
That's
to
you're
keep
correct.
on.
I'm walking out to hear Jer Wolf outside my door in about 15 minutes. Uh,
Cool.
yeah. Bless you. What I have here, my friend, is you say when thousands of people come together with one shared focus, whether it's peace, solidarity, or awareness, it creates heart creates a resonant field of intention.
Yeah.
Human intention, especially when aligned, has a powerful and positive emotional, psychological, physical, and energetic impact. And I will, of course, add spiritual, if I may, that ripples through communities. And my friend, I'm just so grateful to you for your vision, your commitment, your time, and your willingness to hold the space for this to happen with all of us. And I'm happy to be a part of it with
Yeah,
you.
and
Thank
I
you.
guess just to
Yep.
finish up,
Yep.
really,
Yep.
the the only, would you could say it, concern
All
that
right.
happened along the way is everybody associated these things then with me, right?
Right.
And that was exactly not the intention, right?
Sure.
The intention was to bring back, let's say, an old way of uniting the spirit of people,
I
right?
understand.
So,
Yes.
so again, it's like, if people want to get together and do this, everybody just do it themselves. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, let's say
Sure.
if you're standing up for, let's say, the sovereignty of people and yourself and all of that, it's about sovereignty. It's about bringing yourself there, right?
Yeah.
Let's say let's say when people went to the Hill of Tara to do it, they all done it as individuals. You're there together, and that's the beauty of it. Like, the more people who take ownership and get involved, the
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the way forward. And the more people who do that, we will actually set a wave, people doing this everywhere
That's
in the
right.
nicest way possible, right?
Absolutely.
And, like, again, when we see people around the world doing this, whether it be in India, China, all of the above, the effect it has on us even watching this, right?
Yeah.
Imagine seeing this happening in Cork.
Yeah. I'm with you, brother. I will be there and we will help it to happen. And it is
Yeah.
on its way. And I am so grateful to you
Thank you for your
for being
time.
part of this. Thank you so
Thank you for
very,
your
very
time.
much. Uh,
And let's definitely talk a lot more, right? I think we should.
yes.
This is the first chat. Let's have a few.
Sure.
Let's
Well,
talk
yeah.
more and more and
With
more.
pleasure. When you and I aren't
Yeah.
juggling different things, we'll
Yeah. We're
set up more
busy
time.
people.
But this is a great beginning, and I'm so grateful, and I'm seeing it happening with you, and I'm giving thanks, knowing it is done, and the world has changed because of moments like this, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Have a
My
lovely
pleasure.
evening.
My pleasure. Shalom Gafal.
Slán go fóill.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Okay. Peace and blessings.